Hi guys, and thanks for joining me again. I hope you enjoyed that video that I put up of that audio recording. If you did notice at the top left-hand corner, there was a transcript. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, but it was able to be pulled off directly off that audio recording, which I thought was pretty cool. Just a little description of it. That was the very first audio recording that I took once I started deciding that I needed to look into this a little further. So I wanted to play that for you at the beginning so you kind of have an idea where the rest of this episode is going to go. So what I'm going to do now from here is I've gotten a recording of me taking you through a little walkthrough of the apartment that I used to live in, which is funny enough in the same house that I lived in. So this house holds 4 apartments. I used to be at the front one, and now we moved to the back one. We've been here for a couple months. So the unit that we're going to is now empty. There's nobody in it. There hasn't been anyone in it for a couple months. So you will have to just imagine there's furniture and everything around, but I will describe to you where we're going and what happened in each room, and I hope you enjoy it. It's coming right up. Hi guys, and welcome to my first episode. What we're going to do today is do a walkthrough of the old apartment that I used to live in. I live in the back of the house currently, so there's 4 units in this house, and I rented the first front unit for the first year, and then 2 months ago we moved to the back unit. So I'm going to take you through the apartment just so you can have an idea of where I lived and what was going on in each of those rooms. Okay, so here we are. Number 1, we'll go on in. Good. Open the door. I'll just close it. We'll just lock it behind me, safety features. Okay, so nothing exciting really. It's pretty empty. No one's been here for 2 months. On my left here is my old roommate's bedroom. And in here is, just your basic living room. So, like I said, nothing really happened on the main floor. It's pretty quiet down here. You have your basic bathroom. And this is our kitchen. Once again, it was very quiet down here. Nothing really exciting happened. So there's 3 floors in this apartment, and this stairwell leads to both of them. So the stairwell actually was the main source of a lot of the activity. You would hear banging on the walls. You would hear voices. I'd be in my room. I would think that Pat was calling me. And of course I would say, who's there, or what do you want? I'd come downstairs, and of course there would be nobody here. So the banging would just never stop. It was insane. Sleepless nights, I can't count how many. So up here leads to my bedroom. And right here is my room. It's very empty, as I said, so you'll have to use your imagination. Let's say over here is where my bed was. And over there is where I put my TV. And here's my bedroom door. So basically you can imagine I'd be sitting on my bed here. My door would usually be, about halfway closed, so you can see between the wall and the door, that crack. I'd be sitting here in the corner of my aisle. I would catch some shadows walking by, or I would hear voices, and of course turn around and nobody would be there. We also did an experiment in the room. We put a plate with some paper clips on, 4 on each side, or 1 on each corner, and we left it for about an hour. We came back, and one of the paper clips had actually moved about a foot away from the plate. We also put a $5 bill under the closet door, and we came back then, and the paper bill had moved, so we knew the door had been opened. It was pretty interesting. I wish I'd had a night vision camera so I could have caught that for you guys, but maybe next time. I will be leaving a recorder up in my bedroom when I leave here, and I will pick that up later tonight, and we will examine that on my next episode. So we continue upstairs. This takes us to Pat's old office, where he would do all his recording. He has his own podcast as well. It's called Balefire. So check that out. I'll put a link to it on my site. And in here, he did a bunch of recordings as well. And he got a really interesting one, which I am going to place at the end of this video, just for you guys to listen to, and we can discuss that on my next episode. So I'll go downstairs. As I said, it's pretty quiet here right now, but I will leave the recorder, and we will see if we get anything. So I want to thank you guys for checking in and checking out my video this week, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.